Now at 9, the city of Joplin looks to create a committee aimed at addressing declining neighborhoods. Plus, a local 100-year-old World War II veteran is laid to rest in Baxter Springs, Kansas. And
former President Trump won't have to comply with a subpoena from the House committee investigating the January 6th Capitol attack. I'm Skyler Henry in Washington, recapping the panel's findings and the latest from the other committee probing Trump's tax returns.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you all for joining us tonight. I'm Jalen Banks. After resident feedback, the city of Joplin is adding resources to address declining neighborhoods. Along with adding to the team, remodeling is underway at City Hall to make room for them. KOAM Shagun Bomdali has more.
The expansion of Joplin's declining neighborhood team is leading to remodeling parts of City Hall
in the coming year, and we need a place to house them, so we're going to be refurbishing this first floor space here that's underutilized. It was previously used for some disaster recovery personnel after the tornado, and we're going to house them here.
City officials say growing the team is necessary.
We had a series of public input sessions. We had our development operations study that was completed this year, which outlined additional improvements that the citizens would like to see around neighborhood improvement programming, the enforcement of code, better upkeep of buildings and neighborhoods in general. So we're going to bring on those additional staff.
With every project the city embarks on, funding has to come from somewhere, either state grants, taxpayer dollars, or donations. Tony Robin explains how this project is being funded.
So the citizens have asked for additional code enforcement and neighborhood improvements, and in order to do that, we of course need the staff capacity to run those initiatives and programs, and they've authorized to use the proposition use tax funds to bring those staff on.
A local remodeling contractor says he is happy that the city is looking into improving neighborhoods and addressing abandoned buildings.
Right, I mean, anywhere that, they can go off and fix and upgrade and remodel and make the area around them, the neighborhood around that area look better, I'm pretty sure everybody's happy with that.
Reporting in Joplin, Shagun Bamdele, KOAM News.
The City Council last week also advanced on the first reading on a construction services contract with Industrial Electric, allowing more than $78,000 payment for the work. All right, and now Doug Hetty joins us with the first look at the weather.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a warm day for us today. Very windy day once again, as well as our temperatures. Look at this, record high 71 is where we topped out. 69, the old record set back in 1984. We started this morning at 60 degrees. At least the winds have finally calmed down. We had winds gusting upwards of 40, 42 once again during the afternoon, but you can see we have a little wind shift line that's working through. So that is a weak little cold front. So we're going to usher in some cooler air. Most of us now dropping back into the 50s, and eventually we'll drop into the 30s later on tonight. A lot of clouds, couple little showers, kind of clipping Benton County over toward Branson. Most of us are going to end up staying on the dry side as most of the rain stays off to our south and to our east. But our temperatures are going to cool down. We're going to drop back through the 30s, overnight low down to about 37. What about the holiday weekend? We're going to look at that coming up here in just a bit.
Former President Trump has outlasted the House Select Committee investigating the January 6th assault on the U.S. Capitol. He will not have to comply with the committee subpoena after all, but another House committee investigating the former President Trump's plans to make his taxes public this week. Reporter Skyler Henry has more details from Capitol Hill.
The committee investigating the January 6th attack at the U.S. Capitol has dropped its subpoena of former President Donald Trump, asking for documents and his testimony. Committee Chairman Benny Thompson issued a letter to Trump's attorneys saying, "I hereby formally withdraw the subpoena issued to former President Trump and notify you that he's no longer obligated to comply or produce records in response to said subpoena."
The Select Committee stands adjourned.
The panel wrapped up its work before it could compel Trump to provide the documents and testimony it sought. But after 18 months and more than 1,000 interviews, the committee issued a final report last week, finding the central cause of January 6th was one man, former President Donald Trump. The January 6th committee isn't the only one that's wrapping up its work. The House Ways and Means Committee has one more piece of business to conduct before Republicans take control next week and shut down Trump-related investigations. The committee will be releasing Trump's tax returns to the public Friday after voting last week to do so.
Mr. Chairman, on this vote, I have 24 yeas, 16 noes.
The committee spent years fighting in the courts to get the documents. The Supreme Court ruled in November that Congress had a right to the taxes as part of its oversight role.
The Ways and Means Committee investigation showed that until the investigation began, the IRS had failed to audit then President Trump as required by law. A pipeline operator put a damaged section in Kansas back into service today, a little more than 3 weeks after a spill on December 7th dumped 14,000 barrels worth of crude oil into a rural creek. Canada-based TC Energy announced that it had completed repairs, inspections, and testing on its Keystone pipeline in northeast Kansas to allow a controlled restart of the section from Steel City, Nebraska, near the Kansas line, to Cushing in northern Oklahoma. Family and friends laid to rest today a World War II veteran. Clyde Bond served in the Army and received a hero send-off. Clyde Bond served in the Army during World War II, and he lived to be 100 years old and passed away just this past Thursday.
For my grandpa, just he was a stereotypical grandpa. Always life lessons. Every time we were together, it was just life lessons. And where his words were few, the way that he lived his life spoke volumes.
Bond's family says that the lessons he's left behind are countless.
He taught me to be honest. He taught me to be hardworking. He taught me that family and faith were very important. Self-sufficiency, able to work things out as much as possible, but always I could go home if I needed help.
Bond, a lifelong Riverton, Kansas native, was a proud Ram all the way up until his passing.
Total supporter of the Riverton Rams, and he was very active in sports as growing up in school there too, and he liked to tell about being the quarterback for the undefeated Riverton Ram team while he was in high school.
Bond's children appreciates the family's longevity and the life they had with their father.
Well, Mom lived till she was 95, Dad lived till he was 100, and grandparents all lived a long time. If I could live to be 100 and be active and everything, that'd be great. We just had a good life. It was a good life in Riverton. It was a good life with him and Mom, and you couldn't ask for anything better.
Bond will be buried next to his wife, Esther, as his final resting place. In Baxter Springs, Kansas, Jalen Banks, KOAM News. Clyde Bond is survived by his 3 children and 12 grandchildren. KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14 takes this time to honor another Forsade hero. Herschel Tabor served in the U.S. Army from 1940 to 1945. The Webb City, Missouri native was stationed in Germany and the Altoan Islands. He received 2 Bronze Stars as a part of the C Company 329th Infantry. We salute Herschel Tabor, a Forsade hero. Coming up, the U.S. is cracking down amid COVID surge in China.
Travelers coming to the United States from China will soon need to show a negative COVID test. I'm Mallory Rivera in Washington with more on why the CDC made that call coming up.
The CDC is saying reconsider travel to China as they deal with the COVID-19 surge. Their lack of transparency has U.S. officials taking new measures to protect Americans. Fox's Madeline Rivera has more from Washington.
With concerns growing about the spread of a new COVID variant, the U.S. is unveiling a requirement for some people traveling into the United States. Travelers from China, Hong Kong, and Macau will need to show a negative test result.
Hopefully it won't be affecting the United States, but we've got to move in better directions.
The CDC says this step was necessary given China's lack of transparency about its outbreak and its failure to track and sequence variants and subvariants.
You can't necessarily or even reflexively trust the word that comes out of the Chinese Communist Party. I mean, as of today, for the duration of the pandemic, this is a country of 1.4 billion people. They claim just 5,000 have died due to COVID. Those are not numbers seen anywhere else.
The rule kicks in January 5th, 3 days before China relaxes some of its requirements for international travelers. Beginning January 8th, people traveling from overseas will no longer need to quarantine. It marks one of the most significant steps towards reopening as the country scraps its strict zero-COVID policy.
We always believed that all countries' COVID response should be science-based and proportionate and treat people from all countries on an equal footing.
The testing requirement applies for passengers 2 years and older, regardless of vaccination status and nationality. It also applies for people connecting through the U.S. In Washington, Mallory Rivera, Fox News.
Doug is next with a complete look at the forecast. And later, the Pittsburgh State men and women are back on the floor after nearly a 2-week break. Buffalo, New York is taking more and more steps to reopen nearly a week after a deadly storm. The city's death toll is inching closer to 40 as officials today announced 2 more deaths. And as recovery efforts there continue, the western part of the county also cleaning up for big storms. Fox's Robert Ray has more from Buffalo. Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a warm one for us today. 70s, lower 70s. Just 1 week ago, we were sitting below zero. We have had a lot of clouds throughout the day, but it looks pretty good right now. Nice shot of Indigo Sky Casino and Resort just outside of Seneca, Missouri. Temperatures cooling down. We were into the 70s. Now we're dropping back through the 50s as we have a weak little cold front that is slipping through, and thankfully the winds have died down. They're out of the kind of west, northwest now, but they're only going to be at about 5 or 10 miles per hour for us tonight and then into the daytime hours tomorrow, which is good. We'll drop back to 38 by 7 a.m., overnight low around 37, and then back to about 42 by 10 a.m. We are going to continue to see a lot of clouds across the region. You can see the brighter white. Those are showing us those thicker clouds, and even in our southeastern counties, a couple little showers popping up in Benton County, which will kind of skirt up near Branson, but most of us will end up staying on the dry side. In fact, this system kind of splitting around us. Rain to our south, we have snow to the north. All we are getting are the winds, the clouds, and some cooler temperatures as we go through the overnight hours for us tonight and then again into tomorrow. So let's stop at 7 a.m. Temperatures kind of 35 to about 37 degrees. We are going to have mostly cloudy skies. We'll get some sunshine in here, partly sunny throughout the day. By noon, mid 40s, and then once we get to about 4 p.m., I think most of us about 49 to 51. So let's go about 48 in Nevada, Bentonville, 53 in Miami, Chanute, up to about 48 degrees. Clouds kind of in once again tomorrow night, mostly cloudy skies, back into the upper 30s for overnight lows. Saturday overall looks pretty good. Again, a lot of clouds, but temperatures, we warm back up right around 60 for afternoon highs. And then as we go into Saturday evening, of course, New Year's Eve, we want it to stay dry. We are going to stay dry. We are going to have the clouds, but right around midnight, temperatures are going to mainly be sitting into the upper 40s, but at least we're going to be dry, which is great news. Now, our next storm system, that's going to be rolling in, at least giving us much better chances for rain by Monday. All right, day planner on Friday, 38 to start, 48 by noon, high temp of 51. We'll back to about 50 by 5 p.m., but at least we warm into the 60s on Saturday, 60s on Sunday. Here come the showers early Monday, and we should get a line of thunderstorms Monday afternoon. Some of these could be a little bit stronger, but I think any severe weather mainly stays just south of the region, eastern Oklahoma, and the western parts of Arkansas, but of course something we'll keep our eyes on. This system moves out. We have another weak wave that's going to start to push in late Tuesday into Wednesday. You can see a few little snow showers trying to pop up, so that's a wave that we want to keep our eyes on as well as we go into next week. 51 tomorrow, 61 Saturday, 64 on New Year's Day, 66 on Monday. Good chances for thunderstorms. We cool down Tuesday, and then we're going to keep our eyes on that wave on Wednesday for a possible little rain-snow mix.
Sorry about that miscommunication at the beginning. And now Fox's Robert Ray has more from Buffalo.
We're seeing more signs of Buffalo returning to normal following the deadly winter storm. Officials on Thursday lifting the driving ban after nearly a week.
This will allow our residents to get back to work, allow them to get to supermarkets, pharmacies, and to get to medical appointments.
The airport has reopened. Abandoned vehicles that were blocking roads have been towed, clearing the way for traffic. And plows are making progress clearing massive snowbanks.
Power has been restored to all Erie County residents.
Search and rescue teams continue to conduct door-to-door wellness checks.
Unfortunately, there are families in this community who still have not been able to identify where a loved one is. They're missing.
And as recovery efforts continue, we're hearing heroic stories of neighbors helping neighbors in the midst of the blizzard that claimed more than 36 lives in western New York. Craig Elston opened the door to his barbershop to anyone who was stranded, getting roughly 40 people out of the dangerous cold.
When I opened the door, he fell into my arms. It took him about 7-8 hours to get warm.
Meanwhile, folks out west cleaning up after another round of storms that brought snow, high winds, and heavy rain. Snapped trees causing widespread power outages, flooding from the post-holiday storm, leaving some people with nothing.
Everything out here is all damaged. Going to the dumpster. We don't have anything left.
As the city of Buffalo continues to dig out, there are concerns over flash flooding as the snow melts with warmer temperatures. In Buffalo, Robert Ray, Fox Weather.
Coming up, lacking people in the critical role.
A shortage of 911 dispatchers across the country has city leaders now scrambling to find a solution. I'm Lauren Blanchard in Washington. I'll have a closer look coming up.
City leaders across the country are grappling with a shortage of 911 emergency dispatchers. Many people are forced to have their calls go unanswered. In some areas, government officials are increasing salaries in the hopes of luring more people to help them. Fox News correspondent Lauren Blanchard reports from Washington.
240 million calls are made to 911 each year, according to the National Emergency Number Association. But keeping those phone lines staffed has been a growing and dangerous problem. In Kansas City, Missouri, the 911 center is short-staffed by almost a third. In some cases, people calling for help are left listening to a voicemail and delayed police response times. Kansas City's mayor is now hoping to offer a $5,000 signing bonus, plus better and more flexible hours in hopes of attracting call center employees.
And the concern isn't just from calls that are coming in now, but deterring people from calling 911 when they have an emergency. It's something that we do not want to do, and it's why we think that dire measures are needed to address this very important issue.
Kansas City's problem is not an isolated one. It's estimated there is a 30% shortage of 911 dispatchers across the country. A spokesperson for the National Emergency Number Association blames it on stress, low pay, poor benefits, and burnout. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the average pay for a 911 dispatcher is about $47,000 a year. A former Chicago dispatcher says he stepped down because of crime and policing policies in his city.
I could not hear more screaming voices in my ear and telling individuals that police were coming when I knew that they were not coming.
Kansas City's mayor said they're also looking to poach dispatchers from other areas because there simply are not enough qualified applicants. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
Up next, we'll take a look back at all the top caught-on-camera moments of the past year. Year after year, people get caught on camera doing good things, bad things, and sometimes just flat-out funny things. And 2022 is no exception. Fox News correspondent Garrett Tenney has all of this year's caught-on-camera highlights.
From defying heights to defying the odds.
Let's everybody.
2022 brought us some jaw-dropping moments, and cameras captured them all. Like this real-life Spider-Man who stopped New Yorkers in their tracks when he scaled the city's skyline. In Italy, a man passed the time during his 9-hour brain surgery by playing the saxophone.
Austin, nice to meet you.
Rapper Post Malone also going viral after spending time with a young autistic fan on his 21st birthday.
Yeah, what kind of beer you get? That's a tough choice. Not for me.
While in a galaxy far, far away, NASA's James Webb Space Telescope took these awe-inspiring images of space. And millions of miles from Earth, cameras caught the moment the DART spacecraft shifted the path of a harmless asteroid.
Oh, that's not a pup. That's a full-grown coyote.
Animals taking a wrong turn were caught inside school bathrooms, cars, and swimming pools.
I knew there were bears around here. I just didn't think they were in my freaking backyard.
This homeowner had the scariest encounter of them all when he found an 11-foot gator on the driveway. Porch pirates hoping for a quick getaway couldn't escape the hidden cameras as they stole everything from decorations to baby formula. Even Mother Nature wasn't immune as cameras captured her stirring up powerful waves along the coast and gusty winds in the desert. Road rage got the best of these folks who were caught chasing and spraying bear spray at their fellow drivers, while heroes reminded us of the good in humanity, like these police officers who saved a family from rushing water.
Is that your mom?
And this military mom who reunited with her kids after more than a year overseas. No matter what the new year brings, one thing is for sure. As technology evolves, even more buzzworthy moments will be captured. In Chicago, I'm Garrett Tenney, Fox News.
30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. How Freeman Health System is helping its employees commute to work.
The colossal flight disruptions could soon end for Southwest passengers. I'm Mike Tobin at Chicago's Midway Airport. Details coming up.
Joplin's largest employer is making sure its more than 4,500 workers can get from their vehicles to the office in a matter of minutes.
We start driving, we start at the back of the parking lot, and we go up and down all the rows for all the employees.
If you visit Freeman Hospital West in Joplin, you might notice a fleet of buses making its way around the area.
We have Freeman volunteers that ride our Fred shuttle bus service. We have student nurses, medical students that ride our service. It's not just Freeman employees, and sometimes our parking lot is almost full.
Fred, or Freeman Rapid Employee Delivery, moves employees from a lot south of McIntosh Circle Drive to the hospital's main entrance, the Freeman Cornell B. Shore Cancer Institute, and the David A. Ball Medical Building.
It's very beneficial to us as we provide a lot of parking for our patients. Most of the employees park in the back lot, and Fred delivers us quickly.
Williams also says that the bus gives employees time to visit.
The bus actually provides a great atmosphere for us to communicate with other employees, kind of socialize, talk to them on our way to work and as we're getting off work and catch up.
Pretty enjoyable, really. You get to greet everybody every day. I mean, it's almost like we call this a Freeman family.
On average, a Fred bus drives around 15,000 miles each year to move employees around the hospital campus. First-time weekly unemployment benefits claims are up again. 225,000 new claims were filed last week, 9,000 more than the previous week's tally of 216,000. Continuing claims also picked up their highest level since February, 1.7 million for the week ending December 17th. Southwest Airlines is setting a new timeline for the end of its massive flight disruptions. This comes after the carrier canceled 2/3 of its service on Thursday. Fox News senior correspondent Mike Tobin has more.
Relief may be here for Southwest passengers. After canceling thousands of flights over the last week, the airline expects to return to normal operations on Friday. For now, unclaimed luggage has piled up at airports across the country as the carrier faced another day of disruptions. Exhausted travelers scrambled for alternate ways to reach their destination.
I was supposed to fly out on Christmas Eve, December 24th, and Southwest just canceled me with no notice, and now I've been canceled 3 times.
Between hotel rooms and rental cars, costs are mounting for some people. Southwest added a page to its website for passengers to request refunds and rebook flights. They're also offering to reimburse folks for most hotel and food costs, though some people say they're still struggling to get help. Federal officials are vowing to hold the airline accountable.
It shouldn't take an enforcement action from our department in order to get people taken care of or get them their money back. But if that's what it takes, of course, we're ready to do it.
Meanwhile, Southwest has acknowledged that older scheduling software can leave its flight crews out of position during bad weather. Pilots' unions argue the issue was preventable and say they've been left in the dark about the next steps.
No one's reached out to us at all, actually, to find out, to inform us of what's going on. Even the recovery plan we've been left in the dark on.
And with the promise to return normal operations, Southwest executives are promising minimal disruptions. At Chicago's Midway Airport, Mike Tobin, Fox News.
A bit later, we'll learn how artificial intelligence is changing the fashion industry.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a warm one for us today. 70s, lower 70s. Just 1 week ago, we were sitting below zero. We have had a lot of clouds throughout the day, but it looks pretty good right now. Nice shot of Indigo Sky Casino and Resort just outside of Seneca, Missouri. Temperatures cooling down. We were into the 70s. Now we're dropping back through the 50s as we have a weak little cold front that is slipping through, and thankfully the winds have died down. They're out of the kind of west, northwest now, but they're only going to be at about 5 or 10 miles per hour for us tonight and then into the daytime hours tomorrow, which is good. We'll drop back to 38 by 7 a.m., overnight low around 37, and then back to about 42 by 10 a.m. We are going to continue to see a lot of clouds across the region. You can see the brighter white. Those are showing us those thicker clouds, and even in our southeastern counties, a couple little showers popping up in Benton County, which will kind of skirt up near Branson. But most of us will end up staying on the dry side. In fact, this system kind of splitting around us. Rain to our south, we have snow to the north. All we are getting are the winds, the clouds, and some cooler temperatures as we go through the overnight hours for us tonight and then again into tomorrow. So let's stop at 7 a.m. Temperatures kind of 35 to about 37 degrees. We are going to have mostly cloudy skies. We'll get some sunshine in here, partly sunny throughout the day. By noon, mid-40s, and then once we get to about 4 p.m., I think most of us, about 49 to 51. So let's go about 48 in Nevada, Bentonville, 53 in Miami, Chanute, up to about 48 degrees. Clouds kind of in once again tomorrow night, mostly cloudy skies, back into the upper 30s for overnight lows. Saturday overall looks pretty good. Again, a lot of clouds, but temperatures, we warm back up right around 60 for afternoon highs. And then as we go into Saturday evening, of course, New Year's Eve, we want it to stay dry. We are going to stay dry. We are going to have the clouds, but right around midnight, temperatures are going to mainly be sitting into the upper 40s, but at least we're going to be dry, which is great news. Now, our next storm system, that's going to be rolling in, at least giving us much better chances for rain by Monday. All right, day planner on Friday, 38 to start, 48 by noon, high temp of 51. We'll back to about 50 by 5 p.m., but at least we warm into the 60s on Saturday, 60s on Sunday. Here come the showers early Monday, and we should get a line of thunderstorms Monday afternoon. Some of these could be a little bit stronger, but I think any severe weather mainly stays just south of the region, eastern Oklahoma, and the western parts of Arkansas, but of course something we'll keep our eyes on. This system moves out. We have another weak wave that's going to start to push in late Tuesday into Wednesday. You can see a few little snow showers trying to pop up, so that's a wave that we want to keep our eyes on as well as we go into next week. 51 tomorrow, 61 Saturday, 64 on New Year's Day, 66 on Monday. Good chances for thunderstorms. We cool down Tuesday, and then we're going to keep our eyes on that wave on Wednesday for a possible little rain-snow mix.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Doug. KOAM is always looking for aspiring journalists, so we're continuing a program where we air stories shot, written, and edited by local students. A Joplin High School One Club is making video games a competition. Joplin Eagles television student reporter Gavin Hollingshed reports on the esports team.
Usually, you get in trouble for playing video games in school. Well, not with this team. They're the JHS esports team. Ryan Burnside leads the Smash Bros. Teams.
I've been playing Smash in general since the Nintendo 64 one came out, since the very first Smash Brothers, because that was when I was a little kid. So I played Smash Brothers Brawl, Smash Brothers Melee, Smash 4, and then Smash Bros. Ultimate. So I've been playing for seriously like 20 years.
Burnside isn't just looking to improve at the game himself, he's also looking to help the students improve as well.
I just really like being here to support the kids and help them get these matches set up and help them get better at Smash Bros. So that they can win. And it's also fun to get to know some of the kids that I don't have in my own classes.
Matthew Goins is a player on the varsity team for Smash and League of Legends. Matthew says that the club is not just for long-timers, it's also very friendly for beginners.
That applies for both Smash Bros. And League. We have some people come in who have never played the games, that we just have them play the game a little bit and get good at the game over time.
The team meets after school 4 times a week in Mr. Bradfield's class, 4 to 6 on Mondays and Tuesdays, as well as 4 to 5 on Wednesdays and Thursdays.
So people can come to hang out pretty much any time that's not the tournament day, so not Monday and Tuesday. They can come hang out Wednesday and Thursday.
Burnside says that there are 2 times to try out for the team per year.
But if they want to compete, they have to try out at the start of each semester. So next spring, if they want to try out for Smash, it'll just be at the start of the spring semester, or if they want to try out for League of Legends, it'll also be at the start of the spring semester.
Bradfield says that they could expand the club into other esports. So if you are interested in esports, the team is accepting tryouts in the spring. Reporting for Jet HD, Gavin Hollingshead.
Man, I wish that type of stuff was around when I was still in high school. But that's awesome. Again, thanks to Joplin High School student Gavin Hollingshead for that report. And coming up in sports, Oklahoma football meets Florida State in the Cheez-It Bowl. Plus, the Pitt State men and women host non-conference matchup this evening. Danny Turzer has that and more next.
The Pitt State women hit the floor this evening for the first time since December 17th. Pitt State hosts Tabor College for its final non-conference game of the year. Try and get those highlights up for you guys. There they are. For final non-conference game of the year for the Gorillas. In the first quarter, Alba Lozano gets the offensive rebound, kicks it out to Grace Pyle for the 3. Then Pyle finds Erin Davis, bucket for 2. Game is tied at 24 after 1. Still neck and neck here. Lozano drills it from deep. She finishes with 13 points. Nice night for Sydney Holmes as well. Lays it in. She leads the Gorillas with 15 points tonight. In the third, Pitt State starts to pull away. Harper Schreiner, bucket and foul. Gorillas up by 12. And later, Karenna Gerber banks it in off the glass. She adds a double-double. 5 Gorillas score in the double figures tonight. Pitt State rolls by Tabor 84-69. The Pitt State men also face an out-of-conference opponent this evening, the Avila Eagles. Gorillas start fast. Quentin Hardrick sinks an early 3. He scores 15. Then RJ Forney knocks it down from the corner. Pitt State quickly forces a timeout. They stay rolling. Forney with the nice pass. Calvin Kulina finishes off the glass. A few plays later, Deshaun English drives, bucket and 1. English finishes with another double-double tonight, his 6th of the season. Pitt State leads 22-4. Later, Jeremy Shaw hits the quick release 3. Pittsburgh State beats Avila 66-54. The Oklahoma Sooners wrap up their first season under head coach Brent Venables today, facing 13th ranked Florida State in the Cheez-It Bowl. The Sooners lead at half, but the Seminoles come back and hit a field goal in the final minute to win at 35-32. Javonte Barnes rushes for 108 yards and a score. Marvin Mims tallies 77 yards on 2 catches. That's a look at sports. We'll be right back.
Artificial intelligence is helping designers create clothes of the future. Fox's Gary Baumgarten takes a special look at the software that could be behind your next outfit.
The latest trend in fashion? Artificial intelligence. It's all thanks to a new program called Ada, software developed by researchers in Hong Kong that's helping designers create clothing of the future.
I think the face covering is definitely alien-like and exciting.
So how does it work? Designers can upload sketches of clothing along with samples of materials in various colors to Ada within seconds. The program uses image recognition technology to create dozens of potential looks inspired by what the designer uploaded.
The rationale of developing Ada is not to use AI replacing designers. What we are talking about is AI is just a supporting tool for the fashion designers. Designers and AI can work together to come up with the final collection.
Creators agree, citing how the tool is already helping them save time while exploring new possibilities with their designs.
I think in the designing process, Ada might in fact inspire me to think about some styles that I don't often use in my design, and things I don't always do. However, it's me who has the final say.
Earlier this month, 14 designers showcased more than 80 outfits created with the help of Ada. The software is currently available throughout Europe and Asia. Gary Baumgarten, Fox News.
Coming up, we're going to check out the most anticipated movies of 2023. Highly anticipated new movies are on the way in 2023, including franchises, superhero stories, and classic video games and toys, making big screen debuts. Here's Fox's Ashley Dvorkin.
The galaxy still needs its guardians.
The new year brings a new mission for the Guardians of the Galaxy with Volume 3.
We are supposed to be the good guys.
Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse has Miles Morales with a team of spider people clashing on how to protect the multiverse.
Where are we?
Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania has these heroes venturing to a new realm and facing Jonathan Majors' Kang the Conqueror.
You don't remember me, huh?
Majors co-stars in Creed 3 with director Michael B. Jordan, the first sports movie shot on IMAX cameras. The story follows Adonis Creed back in the ring, squaring off with a former childhood friend.
A new day is dawning.
Keanu Reeves is back in action in John Wick Chapter 4. Harrison Ford reprises his iconic role in Indiana Jones 5, The Dial of Destiny. Ghostface slices into the Big Apple for Scream 6. Tom Cruise accepts his mission, taking stunt work to the next level for Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1.
Come with me to London.
Channing Tatum and Salma Hayek return to the stage in Magic Mike's Last Dance. It's a Barbie world with Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling in Greta Gerwig's story about the doll expelled from Barbie Land off to the human world. Ariel's adventure is retold in The Little Mermaid live-action remake with Halle Bailey.
I got this.
From game to screen is the Super Mario Bros. Movie. The Hunger Games continue with The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes.
I'm done running.
And those are just some of many big movies on the big screen in 2023. Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
Well, I don't know about you, but looks like I'm going to be spending a lot of time in the theaters next year. And that's our time for tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. But before you go, we'll leave you with a video of pandas playing in the snow at a Chinese panda research center. Be safe, and we'll do this all again tomorrow. See you then.